Good day everyone, I am Julina Manzano Alabanza, BA4A, major in Food and Service Management. Today we will talk about the last topic or the last set of the Chapter 6, the Philippine National Building Code, which is the guidelines on easements. So, easements, as it is situated outside of private property limits, the easements in public land or the public domain that should be equally enjoyed by all members of the community. So, the easement is not to be used for any form of buildings or structures that may go against its public recreational character, and as such, the following uses and the similar are absolutely prohibited. First is the residential and like uses whether temporary or permanent. Next is long-term or overnight vehicle parking unless duly designated as a day or night pay parking zones. Letter C as a depository of stalled, wrecked, and abandoned vehicles, mechanical devices, and the like. The conduct of specific commercials, institutional, or industrial activities not compatible with its stated character. Letter E is unauthorized recreational or entertainment usage and the like which will only benefit certain entities and which will ultimately result in inconvenience, safety problems to the general public. The last one is any other form of private use, gain, enjoyment, or profit at the expense of the motoring or walking public. So, the SMN's guidelines provides a user-friendly step-by-step guide for the creation and the powers under SMNs. So, next is the law of enhanced mobility of disabled persons. PWD law or Batas Pambansa bilang 344, an act to enhance the mobility or disabled persons by requiring certain buildings, institutions, establishments, and public utilities to install facilities and other devices. So this act provides for rehabilitations, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled persons in their integration into mainstream of society. So next is rule 2 minimum requirements of accessibility. First is categories of disabled person. So these are the categories: impairments requiring confinement to wheelchairs or impairments causing difficulty of insecurity in walking or climbing stairs in requiring the use of braces, crutches, or artificial supports, or impairments caused by amputations, arthritis, spastic conditions, or pulmonary. So, ito po yung mga kapansanan na meron po ang PWD. So, letter C, total or partial impairments of hearing or sight causing insecurity or likelihood of exposure to danger in public place, or mental, whether acquired or congenital in nature. So, ito po yung mga namamana. So, next is basic planning requirements. First is accessibility. The built environment shall be designed so that it shall be accessible to all people. Next is reachability. So this is the provision shall be adapted and introduced to the physical environment. Next is usability. Here, the built environment shall be designed to allow the disabled citizens to participate and contribute to developmental goals. Letter D, orientations. So, finding a person's way inside the outside of building or open space shall be made easy for everyone. Letter E, safety. So here, designing for safety ensures that people shall be able to move about with less hazards to life and health. The last one is workability and efficiency. So the built environment shall be designed to allow the disabled citizens to participate and contribute to development goals. Next is outside and around buildings. First is drop curbs. This is the sample picture of drop curbs. So the drop curbs should be provided at pedestrian crossings and at the end of footpaths of private street or access road. Next is curb cutouts. This is the picture or the sample picture. Curb cutouts should only be allowed when it will not obstruct or walk away or in any way lessen the width of a walkway. So walkways should be kept as level as possible and provided with slip resistant materials. So the last one is the handrails. This is the picture of handrails or the sample picture of handrails. Handrails shall be installed at 0.90 meter and 0.70 meter above steps or ramps. The open space. Where open spaces are provided, the blind can become particularly disoriented. Therefore, it is extremely helpful if any walkway or paths can be given defined edges, either by the use of planters. Next is the signage. Signs should be kept simple and easy to understand. This is made of contrasting colors and gray values to make detection and reading easy. The next parking. These are the requirements in parking areas. One parking space for the disabled should be allow enough space for a person to transfer to a wheelchair from a vehicle. So, accessible parking space should be located as close as possible to building entrances or the accessible entrances. The next topic is inside buildings and structures. So, this is entrances or entrance. This is the sample picture of it. At least one entrance to every building should be accessible from arrival and departure or accessible po siya sa mga PWD na PWD. So, next is ramps. Ramps shall be equipped with curbs on both sides with a minimum height of 0.10 meters. So this is the sample picture of it. Next is the washroom and toilets. In order to aid visually impaired person to readily determine whether a washroom is for men or for women, the signage of men's washroom door shall be an equilateral triangle with the vertex pointing upward. So, para mas mapadali po na ma-determine ng mga PWD or ng mga blind citizens kung saan po sila nararapat, kung saan po sila pwedeng pumunta. So, next is the guidelines and sidewalks. The minimum width of the sidewalk for a RROW with 9 meters or more shall be 1.20 meters on each side of RROW, a total of 2.14 meters on both sides. Sidewalks shall be based on the following considerations. First is a volume of pedestrians. Next is types, intensity or level of operation. D is the types of volume of street furniture, street lighting or the signs. Next is the width of the planting strips, thus spatial needs for serving um, servicing utility service lines under compliance with accessibility requirements, provisions for commuters, waiting sheds, loading, unloading areas. That is the example of it. So next is provisions for vehicle crossings, driveways. Example, loading and unloading platforms if allowed. Next is need for introduction for allowed use elements within the sidewalk area. The example is vehicle lanes, jogging lanes, or etc. The last one is climate, light, ventilation, safety, security, and overall maintenance of the sidewalk and all the surface area. So these considerations are especially important for streets with the higher traffic speeds and volumes where pedestrians may otherwise feel unsafe and avoid working or avoid walking. So that's all. Thank you for listening.